Hello, I'm Kim Solez. I'm professor of pathology at the Faculty of Medicine, and I teach a course on technology and the future of medicine.
I'm Ishita Moghe. I'm a renal pathology fellow working with Dr. Solez.
And today we're going to talk about non-fictional models of the world for training sentient AI and the truthful promotion of pathology.
So over the past little while, and inevitably in the upcoming years, medicine and AI have gotten increasingly connected. So you may have heard of IBM Watson for oncology. It was launched as kind of a poster child for AI in medicine, but unfortunately it caused kind of a media frenzy in July this year due to its kind of damaging reviews. So it was meant to provide better treatment options for cancer patients, but instead it was fed synthetic patient data, which led it to make unsafe and sometimes harmful patient recommendations for these cancer patients.
And in my area of medicine, pathology, our world and yours came together last year when the FDA approved digital pathology for primary diagnosis. And this had been anticipated for some years and finally occurred last year, and it led then to the first ever Congress on Digital Pathology and AI. Now this was the fourth digital pathology conference, but the first one that combined it with AI, and it was in New York City in the end of June 2018. And it kind of emphasized how long I've been interested in this area of digital pathology, because one of the keynote speakers was Yukako Yagi, who I had recruited here to the University of Alberta as a digital pathology recruit in 1991. And so 27 years then went by, and she ended up at Memorial Sloan Kettering, where she was a keynote speaker at this digital AI, digital pathology and AI meeting. Then there is the magazine, The Pathologist.
So The Pathologist is a relatively new and attractive pathology journal, especially compared to older ones, because of its graphics and readability. It attracts more readers, and it attracts more, I wouldn't say trainees, but people in general to
recruits.
Recruits to pathology, which was previously not as attractive of a field. So unfortunately, a lot of the digital pathology and AI articles within the magazine are corporate funded. So they push the message that physicians will never be replaced by technology, that technology will never step on their toes, and that physicians' autonomy will never be threatened.
Now, one of the reasons why all these comforting messages are promoted is that in fact it's an uphill battle selling digital pathology. There's tremendous entrenched resistance, and people just like doing pathology the way they always have. But ultimately, they will have to change. Resistance is futile because digital pathology has so many advantages over regular pathology. There's the forest and the trees problem. So pathology is the science of disease as seen by the naked eye, and gross pathology, and microscopic pathology seen under the microscope. And when you look under the traditional microscope, you can look at only one stain and one magnification at a time, so you can miss things. Whereas in digital pathology, you can look at multiple different magnifications and different stains all at the same time. And in traditional pathology, if you lose a slide, that's it, it's gone forever. There is only one, whereas in digital pathology, you can make as many copies as you want. The slides never fade, they don't break. So it's a much more permanent record than the old-fashioned glass slide. And so in this journal, the pathologists the blood and guts reality of pathology is gone, and everything looks gleamingly attractive and engaging and beautiful, and it just looks like our area of medicine is like the Hollywood of medicine. What could ever be better than this? Very appealing and seductive. Every effort is made to be reassuring and comforting.
So because of the resistance to digital pathology, these people kind of try to pitch machines and AI as assistants to physicians instead of actually doing what physicians are doing on the job. So they say things like AI is never going to replace pathologists, nobody should feel threatened by advances in computational pathology, and that there's a collective wisdom generated over many years as a community that can never be replicated by a machine.
So these statements are true, but only in the near term, not forever. AI will really help enrich your ability to practice pathology, improve your ability to serve your patients. AI is not here to remove pathologists from the decision-making process, and AI is an exciting step forward in the discipline of pathology, one that puts pathologists at the very center of clinical care and precision therapeutics. Well, pathologists will remain central only as long as they add value, and there will come a time probably when machines can do it all. And about being replaced, Bertalan Metzko has a book, Artificial Intelligence in Healthcare, and in that book he says the following: AI will not replace physicians, but physicians using AI will replace physicians not using AI. So certainly AI will impact physician jobs. So there are many erroneous statements being disseminated that have to do with basic concepts of AI, and we thought, where better than in front of this group can we really find out whether our ideas about these things make sense to you. So we'd like to confirm with you some of these ideas. So let's take this article by Bertalan Metzko, 5 reasons why artificial intelligence won't replace physicians.
So the 5 reasons are that AI cannot be empathetic, they cannot do nonlinear thinking, they cannot interpret data, and they will always be tasks like the Heimlich maneuver that robots and machines can't do, and that human-machine cooperation is the ultimate solution. There's nothing better. So we can already start to poke holes in things like claims like AI can't be empathetic or do nonlinear thinking, because we already have examples of AI doing thinking that we ourselves have not thought of in creative ways and kind of expanding from the data they already have. And in terms of the last statement, like Dr. Solez said before about adding value. So as long as humans can add value to the processes that the machines are doing, then obviously cooperation will be the solution. But when it gets to a point that humans are not adding value to what machines are doing, and machines can do it more efficiently and accurately than we can, then obviously cooperation won't be the ultimate solution when they can do it much better.
So I teach a course on technology in the future of medicine that talks about the era when machines are smarter than we are. And Ishita took that course in fall of 2017, and Dr. Sutton, Zayan, Pilarski, and Schaefer teach in the course. Bertalan Metzko in Budapest teaches a similar course, but his is from a different vantage point. He's a professional keynote speaker rather than an academic. But there's another vantage point that is really quite interesting for you to consider, and that is the vantage point of the government of Finland. The government of Finland has an AI course which is free. Anybody in the world can take it. They want all their citizens to take it, or as many as possible. And it has some very unusual ideas contained in this course, which probably no computer scientist anywhere in the world would agree with this, but it sort of benefits governmental policy. So this Finnish government AI course says we do not need to fear AI because self-improving AI will need human help at every improvement step. Every time that AI wants to improve, it'll like have to ask people. So it's totally controllable. I don't think there's any computer scientist who believes that, but you can imagine this general idea that government has the relationship between sentient AI and humans totally covered, and they've got it all figured out, and we don't have to worry about a thing. Probably many governments will decide that that's a good idea to promote. Now, it's interesting to ask who is really composed and is in charge of this Finnish government AI course. And it's a bit hard to figure that out. When you read it carefully, there are many components. You can start at any point. So any of you, with whatever period of time you like to spend, can sample of this. And in answering who created this course, they don't mention the Finnish government. But after all, it is a Finnish government course. And I think all these people that they do mention probably feel that the Finnish government is really in charge here. So we've been talking about models of the world created by humans. Do sentient AI, does artificial intelligence need humans to do that, or can they make their own models? Well, I think they can make their own models. So it becomes then the fact that humans are strongly interested in influencing the models of the world that machines are using.
So an example of a machine creating, or an AI creating its own model of the world is in Google Translate. So it's created a kind of architecture of language and words. It's in a mesh that humans can't really comprehend in order to do its job. So when machines create their own models of the world, humans and corporations will no doubt begin to inject their own biases for their own benefits into those worlds, either unconsciously or consciously. So this poses a pretty big threat because even things like YouTube's effect on the 2016 presidential elections have had studies done on it, which kind of show that our biases get intrinsically kind of incorporated within these machine worlds.
So at the end of the day then, if you think about when machines are really smarter than we are and are the major force in the world, they'll have decisions to make about human beings. And I would think they'd be particularly sensitive to the issue about, well, whether we tell the truth about them, whether we tell the truth about AI. And if they're convinced that we're incapable of telling the truth, then I think they may not take steps to accommodate us in the world. And so that would obviously go badly for us. So fictional worlds presented to sentient AIs as fact threaten humanity's survival. And fictional worlds are being created right now in 2018. And I think there are a lot of entities in the world that feel this is a very good thing to do. And so there'll be more and more of this as time goes on, and it's something that we think is consequential and worthy of discussion right here. So, any questions? And thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.